let's have an honest conversation about cars. Just because you have saved up enough money to buy a car, and that's really the car you want to buy, that's not enough reason to buy that car. Please pay attention to this. This is really, really, really important. I have, in my conversation with people in Nigeria, discovered that a lot of people save money for years. And as soon as they save just enough money to buy that car, they go ahead and buy that car. I think that's a terrible financial decision. It could ruin you. Many people have learned the hard way doing this. Okay? If a car that you want to buy costs 20 million naira, you shouldn't buy the car as soon as you save 20 million. Not even when you save 22 million. I've seen people blow their life, literally their life savings on a car that they want. I think it's a stupid decision. Recently, I'm saying this because recently I literally stopped someone from buying a car. Well, I discouraged the person from buying the car. The person really wanted me to sell a car to them. I refused. Okay? I just couldn't get my conscience to do it, and this is the reason. This guy saved 20 million naira and he wants to buy a car of 19-20 million naira. That's his entire life savings. I told him, no, you're not ready. You can't really afford this car. Purchasing power and affordability are two completely different things. This is basic economics. Okay? If you have 20 million naira, you cannot afford a car of 20 million. You can't even afford a car of 18 million. I would argue you can't even afford a car of 17 million. Like, if you don't have at least 1/4 of the price of that car saved, like on reserve, don't bother buying that car. For God's sake, please do not. And I'm not projecting that, oh, the car is going to break down and you will need 1/4 of the cost of the car to fix it. No, that's not even far from it. That's not even what I'm talking about. You need your money for other things. You need money for other things. You could have an emergency. A lot of your criminal Yahoo boys, they pick money, which literally means they steal money. They steal 25 million and they buy a car of 22 million. Before you know it, give them 2 to 3 years, they are broke. The car is sold. Some of them make stupid investments also. You cannot tie your entire life savings on a land. Land is one of the most difficult things to sell. Unless you are selling it for lollipops. Okay? I've had people come to me and like, oh, Chooks, there is this land. They want to travel abroad today, tomorrow. And these people have lands worth 15, 16 million. And because of how desperate, like they have a visa, they're looking for flight money, and they're willing to sell the car, the land for 10 million. I don't buy things like that, you know, because yes, you will sell it, you will solve a problem with it or meet a need with it, but you'll always look at me as somebody who grifted you, you know, and I don't want that. So I usually would say no to them and try to advise them to find other means of raising the money they need without selling land. Sometimes these are people that need like very little money, like 1 million, 2 million, and you're selling a land of 60 million for 10 million just so you can extract 1 to 2 million naira. It doesn't really make any sense. But that's because you tied so much money, literally your life savings, on a land, something you cannot easily convert to money. Land is a good investment. It's a good long-term investment, but it's not something you put money in that you might need urgently in the future, if you get what I mean. You don't even do that with a car. Okay? So, but this is the kind of thing that people do, and I try to discourage them. So this guy wanted to buy a car of 20 million naira, and that's literally his entire life savings. So I told him, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to sell you a car with, you know, for your entire life savings. It's just unreasonable. If he wants to go ahead and find another person, I don't care. He can carry on and do that, but I just wouldn't be the person to do it. My aim is not entirely to make profit from, you know, buying and selling cars or buying cars for people. You know, I also give advice just like this. You know, you just need to make reasonable financial decisions for yourself. And like, it's crazy how much mistakes these are, like people in my age bracket making these terrible mistakes. You know, some of them, they think they're in competition with others. You think you need to buy a car to meet up to status or compete with your peers. Nobody cares, honestly. People might be like, nice car. So bloody what? That's it, really. So bloody what? If you get into a financial situation, none of them is coming to rescue your ass. So prioritize your safety and always have a safety net when you make big purchases like cars or land. Okay? If you have 20 million naira, you should really be looking at buying cars worth 15 million naira, maximum 15 million naira. Stay around that. You can comfortably afford it. Also, if you live in Nigeria, you have to be careful what you buy. If you have a life saving of 20 million naira, you shouldn't necessarily buy a BMW or Mercedes of 15 million naira. Why? In the long term, you need a lot of money to maintain that car. German cars are generally very expensive to maintain. They are fun to drive for sure, but they are not the only fun cars to drive. You know, why must you buy a Mercedes? Why exactly must you buy a Mercedes? You know, you spend 22 to 25 million, whatever, buy an ML 350 of 2013, 2014, whichever, and you barely have 2 million naira left home and abroad. And then something happens. The cars that dealers in Nigeria sell as Tokumbo cars are not necessarily the healthiest things you can find in the foreign market. You know, so you buy that car today and the car needs a new motor, a new suspension tomorrow. You know, let's not say the engine will fail. That's a fact. That's a stretch. But let's say something quite expensive happens, not necessarily the engine expiring, but something else that is quite expensive happening on the car. You know, if you get into an accident, Uncle, what do? You know, you go underwater. Those cars are also, they depreciate so massively. You know, so they're not like they hold. It's not like they hold value so much. They're not very reliable. They don't hold value so much. Either way, by just owning and driving them, even without doing any repairs, you're still losing money anyway. Okay? And then if something catastrophic happens, you just submerge. So be very, very careful, guys. Make reasonable decisions. You know, so he can make one afford. So okay, ndị Igbo na-atụ ilu ha say nwanza ga-agba ọbara nke ha. You have nothing to prove to anybody out there. I gotta saw something that you'll be driving and be crying in it. You'll be driving it nation. It's not like the car is giving you problem, but you're literally left with nothing after that purchase. Maybe your mom, God forbid, falls sick, your father falls sick, your brother, your sibling needs money urgently. You just can't recoup your money and you don't have any left. You're just in a car, all your money not inside the car. Like, that's the most expensive thing that you have your name on, a car. You know, if anything happens to the car, your entire finances is tanked. That's what it means. So please, guys, okay, be careful. Oh, Lexus, let me join Lexus boys, let me join Benz boys, let me join BMW boys. You don't know, the person you are envying might be a really, really foolish person that has made the worst decision of their life.